I'm Farm Bureau Agent Bill Thomas. Stop by or call me at 927-3816.
Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Well, with us this morning on our Guest of the Day segment, we have Chris Hiher from the Delaware County Soil and Water Conservation District. As it's one of the great things when we get together once a year, Chris, and talk about the tree sale, is we know that winter will come to an end at some time, right?
That's right. Yep. Maybe not when we want it to, but it will eventually.
All right. So, let's talk about your annual tree sale, Chris, and talk a little bit about what kinds of trees that we should consider planting.
Right. So, when you're thinking about planting a tree, there's never not a good time to plant a tree, except for maybe right now when you can't plant a tree. But we always want to be thinking about planting a tree, and some things that go into that are what kind of soil you might have in your backyard. Is it dry? Is it wet? Those things greatly affect what you do plant and where you might plant it. And then how far away. You want to make sure that you position trees away from buildings, at least 50 feet. And then obviously don't plant a tree that will grow into the power lines, because eventually the power company will take that tree out and you will not realize the benefit of it from planting it. So those are some things, the general guidelines to kind of follow and just keep track of before you start planting trees. The soils one's pretty much the big one, so you get a tree that's suited for where you're trying to plant it.
So where is a good place to plant a tree then?
Anywhere where there's space, I would say. Anywhere where it's not going to compete with in your yard. If you've got a bigger area, plant there. Also, we always talk about, being the Soil and Water Conservation District, we're really big into windbreaks. And those are positioned on the north and the west sides of buildings. And if you realize the forecast for today is gusting winds 15 to 20 miles an hour, those trees make a dramatic difference on energy usage and then just overall comfort for animals or people. So I think Department of Energy labels it like it's a 50% savings if you have a windbreak in place versus not having a windbreak in place.
So who would be a good contact for us to ask if we can, to select the tree species?
Yeah, so any Iowa DNR forester can help you with that. Probably the best. They're the most trained and expert in that field. I believe Iowa State Extension also has some resources on planting trees. Iowa DNR has some really great resources on planting windbreaks for wildlife, and then farmstead windbreaks. And then, of course, the Soil and Water Conservation District has been planting trees for decades and decades upon decades right here in Delaware County. So that is also a good resource to reach out if you've got some general questions about trees. We're not always the most on the diseases or the insects, but we know our trees and we can tell you what to plant and where to plant it.
So you do have some cost sharing programs available for the tree planting, right?
Yeah, so through the REAP program, there's a windbreak that's eligible, and that's usually farmsteads or if you have a home that's out in the country. And I do believe that sometimes there's urban situations where we can use REAP cost share through the district to also cost share some of those tree plantings. The biggest hiccup with that is we need 3 rows. A lot of times people don't have the room for 3 rows. You need at least to be 50 feet from a building site, and then you need at least another 50 to 60 feet, depending on what species of trees you're planting there. And then it has, like, the minimum of 3 rows is usually what catches people, but we do cover 75% of $2,000 on a windbreak. If you have 2 rows and you're looking to add a row, we can also do that. We've done that in the past. So that's kind of one of our biggest one. We do have a federal program. If you have crop records with that Farm Service Agency, that would also be an option for getting some cost share and some funding for a windbreak. With the fiscal year of things, we're kind of on the tail end of the state fiscal year and just getting into the federal. So it might be next year for any cost share stuff. But so if you're looking to maybe do some planning in the future, that would be a good time to reach out to us now. So.
All right, so let's talk about the tree sale itself. Give us all the details, everything we need to know.
Yep. So every year seems like this has been done. We always have some potted trees, and those trees are usually your windbreak trees. They're your coniferous. They have a needle or what you'd call a leaf all year round, and they're handier to plant. They're not necessarily faster growing. They're 15 to 18, and a lot of people get caught up. They think that a potted tree will outgrow a bare root tree, and it's pretty negligible. You wouldn't know the difference in 3 years. They'll both be kind of the same. And then we also have deciduous and other stuff, and those are like $3 a tree, so they're pretty affordable, and it's the only place that you can probably buy a single tree. Most places you're going to have to buy a bundle or more, but Delaware County's always been good about doing single trees, and so we catch a really wide audience of people with that. So you do need to get your orders in sooner than later. Seems like they trickle in trickle in pretty late sometimes. So I think February 26th is the cutoff this year. So if you could get your order form in by then, if you don't have an order form, unfortunately you cannot stop by the office right now, but you can call the office at 563-927-4590 extension 3 and get a hold of Sarah for an order form.
So when will the trees be available for pickup?
So looking outside right now, and this has happened to us a couple times, is that they get them from a place in Minnesota, and they have to dig the trees out usually the second and third week of April. We have made it all the way into May if winter is bad. So but you'll get a notification that the trees are coming in for a date, but plan on the second and third week of April at the Delaware County Fairgrounds, just like always. It'll be same like last year. On pickup, you will drive up, somebody will come out, say, who are you picking up for? And they'll give you your trees, and just to try to minimize contact with everything that's going on in the world right now.
So yeah, talk a little bit about that COVID protocol that you're going to be having for the tree pickup.
Yeah, so when you come to pick up your trees, you can always call ahead and let us know what time you're coming so we can have them ready. Usually the person that is doing the sale is out at the fairgrounds, so if you call the office, there might be a little bit of a shuffle there. But the office isn't open. What you'll do is you'll pull into the fairgrounds. Somebody will come out to the car. They'll have a mask on and everything just to make sure everything's safe. And then you'll tell them your name, and they'll go get your order and bring it out to you, and they can put it right in the back of the car, just like the guy does with groceries. So just try to accommodate. If you've got something that you need to work out with us before then, just give us a call. We can try to figure something out. So
very good. Anything you want to add today, Chris?
no, I think that's good. But the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is today. So, well, maybe not today, in the spring, but
yeah, you want to get out there and dig a little snow. I don't know if before you plant the tree, but all right. Chris Hiher with us from the Delaware County Soil and Water Conservation District. The tree sale underway for 2021. Thanks for joining me today, Chris.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Excel Specialized Trade.